Although we can say that Moon Oracle play black metal in the vein of the second wave of the style, Scandinavian, of course, their sound is quite peculiar. With a sound based more on the distortion of the bass than the guitars, there is an aesthetic that marks by the difference, which in this case is always positive, not only because it manages to capture our attention but also works, even if it may require some habituation for those who consume a more traditional sonic approach. Ophidian Glare is the second album from the Finns, and it shows that this unusual approach may be strange at first, but it quickly wins us over. And in that respect the album lineup itself ends up being quite well accomplished, with the final epic and very doomy, abysmal Crimson Desert, closing an album that is short but effective in its purpose.
Could it be that what the world really needed was another old-school death metal project? Of course, you can never have too much, especially when what you have comes with that smell of gravel that makes you feel like you are paving roads in a professional way. Characteristic distortion, the riff at the center of attention, and a guttural reminiscent of the early Entombed career. Is there anything else to add beyond this? No. Doesn't that make this a generic proposal? Maybe, but those who like death metal, especially the Swedish kind, will never think of this factor as something that prevents them from headbanging to these songs.
Malignea and their long-awaited debut album. And although we had already seen them live before the release of the album, the expectation was enormous to see how the materialization of this band would be, that it can be faced as the natural follow-up of Dogma, now with only Isabel Christina on vocals. Natural follow-up, but not the same band or even the same musical formula. What we have is based on doom metal, but the melody is more refined, as well as an approach to the Gothic style, which even presents unexpectedly positive results. And unexpectedly so, because at this point it was not expected that we would have something that sounded so refreshing. Although one feels that this is an embryonic first album of a musical identity that will still have many more things to offer. If Dogma had a very well-defined identity, Malignea proved to have a very broad path ahead of them. This self-titled album is an excellent start to that path.
What is the best way to celebrate 20 years of career? It's not with a compilation, nor a live album, although those options could eventually be quite interesting for fans. It's really with new music, and when the one presented is as good and solid as this one here on Patale, then there's really good reason to do so. With a very characteristic Viking metal edge. I know, I hate the term as much as you all do, but the truth is that it's still the perfect way to describe what the band does, to which are added melodic and highly traditional elements, especially in the way the guitars bring us good leads and good solos. The result is excellent songs that pull at the folk as expected, but without falling into exaggeration. Sobriety in all aspects is what makes this album such a surprise for those who don't know them yet. Celebrating 20 years of career but still presenting something new and captivating new fans.